You gonna let me put my shoes on, or are you gonna do what you normally do every time I try and put it on you? You attack me like that. You ready to go for a walk? Well, you can't feel it, but we are getting cooked right now. It is over 100 degrees again. Dang. Well, the plan for today is to take him for a walk first. It's broiling, like I said, but he's got to go out. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go do the vlog. I gotta mail some more hats out, hit the grocery store, and then I want to watch the Dodgers. I'm super excited to see the Dodgers in the World Series again. Even though I'm not as big of a fan of the Dodgers now as I once was when I had season tickets, obviously. I mean, it's just, it would have been nice to see it then because I was so invested in that crew. It's nice because the Dodgers are not known for having, you know, keeping their players for very long. And there's actually 2 people on the team still, Andre Ethier and Clayton Kershaw, that were there when I started going to games. So it's kind of cool to see those 2 guys who have stuck it out through all the craziness over the years to actually get a chance to compete for the biggest prize in baseball. Now what we're going to vlog today is something that I've actually seen before, but I didn't know what it was. And then I realized what it was today and I said, that's the vlog. So it'll be quite a surprise for you. Now what we're gonna go see today is actually something that's been in the news, especially in Los Angeles, for about the last 2 or 3 years. You had to do it now, didn't you? And it's actually been a kind of a legal battle that 2 women have been fighting for ownership of this place. And it's a pretty interesting story. This tree stump almost looks like a toilet. Well, he deserved a rib bone. It was so hot outside, I had to. He's a good boy. Here's the Shakespeare Bridge. At least that's what they call it. Well, you see those little figures up on top? This is the outside fence of what we came to vlog today. Now this, like I said, this is a story that's been going on for quite a while, because this is actually the old convent that Katy Perry has been trying to purchase. This convent was actually, it's somewhat known as an old pilgrim church around here. And these nuns lived here for many decades. In fact, what kind of separated these nuns from most others is they adopted some of those 60s philosophies, or just some of the attitude from the 60s, and they kind of broke away from following what the archdiocese wanted them to do, and they kind of were trying to institute their own bedtimes and their own prayer times. And the archdiocese was not in favor of this, but they said that the Vatican never stepped in, so this was always kind of a rogue convent. And so in 2011, when many of the original nuns who had lived here were pretty much gone, they realized that it was just a little too big for them to keep up with, and this place was actually emptied out. They emptied it out for the purpose of sale. And what was supposed to happen is the new owner was supposed to, according to what they wanted, the new owner is supposed to provide living accommodations or a prayer center, a prayer place for these nuns after they are moved out of here. Now what ended up happening was the nuns believe that they have every right to sell this place. And so in 2015, they initiated a sale to a local businesswoman who owns some diners around here called the Bright Spot. And she actually wanted to purchase this place because her plan is to basically, and it's weird that she wants to do this because it's right inside of a residential neighborhood, she wants to turn this into a hotel, which would actually make them have to change some of the zoning laws and everything, which I guess she's going to do. And what she did was she paid $44,000 and a promissory note to these nuns to take over this place, and then they actually let her move in. The problem is that the Archdiocese believes that he has final say and all decisions with this property had to go through him, and that he had already made a deal with Katy Perry. Katy Perry's deal was that she would actually pay $10 million in cash and then an additional $4.5 million for the prayer center. And basically the nuns believed that she was not fit to live here. They didn't want her living here, and they thought it was kind of a slap in the face that she would get the property. And so they went and tried to legally stop her, and they actually let the woman who I mentioned who owned the Bright Spot, who wanted to buy this, her last name is Hollister, they actually let her just go ahead and move on in. So when the Archdiocese found out, the Archdiocese had already made a plan to sell to Katy Perry, had already put that in motion, and so they've been in a struggle ever since. And it kind of, in a way, came to a head recently because I believe it was actually yesterday, there was a ruling handed down that that the nuns are now no longer allowed to take part in any of the negotiations or any of the litigations that involve this. And it's looking like Katy Perry is going to actually get to buy this place. Now she, to her credit, did make a goodwill effort, and what she did do was she actually met with the 2 remaining of the 5 nuns who originally purchased this place, and she tried to appeal to them and say that she wanted this place for a spiritual retreat and that she was not going to use it as a business, and it wasn't even going to be just a fly-by-night summer home. This was actually where she wanted to live, and she was going to live here with her mother and her grandmother, and that was the plan. But apparently from people that have interviewed the nuns, they were not impressed with her, and even though she tried to somewhat tone down her appearance at the time, they just didn't really buy it. And even though there were other nuns living here when this place was closed down, they actually have opened another center for them not too far away from here, from what I read online. So now this giant property, which ironically is like where this property ends, is where the La Bianca house is from the Charles Manson murders. But you can see as far as that yellow wall goes down there, that's the property. It's a pretty large property, and like I said, this has been known over time as kind of the pilgrim church, and it was a long-time convent. So only time will tell, and I guess it'll actually be happening here rather soon, whether or not the 32-year-old superstar Katy Perry, who actually did grow up very religious. I believe her father is a preacher, so it's not that she is just buying this property because it's a big property and she wants it for the investment. She actually claims to have a relationship with God, that she wants this place to basically sit out in the garden and have tea and have a spiritual connection. And I wish I could get a little further up there, because you can kind of see on that pillar up there. I'll switch lenses and show you that there's a kind of an eagle or something up there. Right at the top of that thing. Like I said, I'll probably have to switch lenses to show you. But as far as I know, this place is now uninhabited. Hollister is not, to my knowledge, allowed to live here, and Katy Perry hasn't been allowed to live here yet. But basically, as I said, where it stands is that the judge basically came down with a decision yesterday that they believe that the nuns may try and fight, basically saying that the Archdiocese of Los Angeles actually has the final say and the decision onto who gets to own this property, and the fact that Katy Perry is willing to pay $10 million cash and put that $4.5 million into creating that new prayer center. I think that she'll probably end up winning, and you know what? I hope she does. The last thing that Los Angeles needs is more hotels and less history, so more power to her. I hope you get it, Katy. I mean, from what I can see, this is a very beautiful place. Very beautiful grounds, and I was actually able to find some photos online of what the inside, the interiors of the property look like. Now you can't see a whole lot over that big wall, but if you look closely you can actually see there's a bench right there, and you can see a little kind of a bridge over here, little walkway inside there. See, there's another bench in there. I'm gonna look around and see if there's any better view. Well, there's a staircase up this driveway that looks like you could kind of enter from there, but they have a no trespassing sign right here, so I don't want to mess with it. But wow, check out this house right across from it. Actually, it's like two houses side by side. I read about them online. They're both these really interesting Tudor houses, and look at that. That little like swan looking thing in there. But apparently this over here is like the sister house. They call it the smaller sister house to this one right here. Gotta love architecture, man. Gotta. Just so cool. Figured I'd come back over here and show you a little bit more since I have the tighter lens on now. Look at this vintage sign. It's made out of like a little 2x4. It's probably the original address sign. Pretty neat. Alright, it's broiling hot, so I'm gonna get out of here, but I will keep you posted if we find out anything about what happens here anytime soon. It's been going on for 2 or 3 years, so I mean, I'm sure at some point there's got to be a conclusion. Somebody will get this property. Hopefully it's Katy Perry. Based off of those two, in my opinion, I would prefer it go to her.
Me and this guy are watching the World Series. We're watching the World Series right now. The Dodgers are about to win.
Well, good evening, my friends. Well, the Dodgers did it. Game 1's in the books for the World Series. The first time the Dodgers have been there in almost 30 years, and they had a great game and went off with a bang. So I'm a happy guy tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog today. I wanted to thank everybody that participated in the live chat that I did a little bit ago. I wanted to thank everybody that's purchased a hat. Just everybody that supports me. Thank you so much. We got a little bit of a list to go through here. I wanted to thank Tiffany and Stephanie Pimentel for becoming new Patreons, and I wanted to thank Ann Santos and Vianney Frias for making a donation towards the low light camera. So nice of everybody. I have a great vlog planned tomorrow with a unexpected tie-in. It's really unexpected. I mean, so unexpected when I tell you, well, you'll see it tomorrow. I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say 2 extremely well-known murder cases had a very interesting tie-in. I'll leave you with that. Have a great night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good. That was a weird one. Bye.